Another crash has happened from BNSF, except this one was much worse, caused millions of dollars in damage, and a lot of wreckage that happened from 2 collisions in one crash and 2 trains, and one sitting on the siding of a train track. This is the story of the BNSF Arminto train collision 18 years ago today. On December 7, 2001, a BNSF train was hauling plastic from Fort Worth, Texas to Laurel, Montana. The leader of this train was C44-4882, which was painted into the H2 scheme. Then C44-681, which was painted into the fake bonnet scheme. And finally BNSF SD40-7829, which was painted into the BN scheme. Up ahead, parked on the siding, was a BNSF grain train, which was sitting there waiting for its next track warrant because it was in unsignaled territory. The locomotives on this train were both SD40-2s. The leader was 7938 and 6329 as distributed power. The one thing about this train was the grain cars were all empty. The empty grain train was heading toward from Longview Junction in Texas to Omaha, Nebraska, which was where it was going to stop. The BNSF engineer 4882 thought they were all good, but clearly they weren't, because the track switch leading to the siding where the grain train was sitting was switched to the siding. When they found out that was bad, the two people inside the train hid and crawled on their knees to the floor before the trains smashed into each other, going at about 40 to 62 miles per hour. And especially during a Friday. In the chaos of the wreck, the engineer of 4882, who was named Mike Hoover, was killed, and the conductor of the train suffered injuries, including a few cuts. The cab section and body of 7938 was almost completely sheared off. Locomotive 7829, which was the SD40 and 4882, the train that was leading it, wasn't as damaged as 4882, which had its front completely damaged beyond repair. BNSF 681 also suffered some damage to its front and side. The most lucky locomotive out of all of the trains in the crash was 6329. Most of the train locomotive itself was undamaged, but the back of it was not. The NTSB determined that the train conductor and engineer totally ignored the switch and forgot to switch it back to the main, which caused the crash. The only cause of the crash, says the NTSB, was that the person who was using the occupied main siding track forgot to switch it back to the main, which also caused damage to the locomotive itself on the front. The crash costed $3 million for the locomotives and the tracks $72,000. In the end, BNSF 4882, the leader of the train that was moving, was repaired and put back into service. This locomotive still operates to this day. BNSF 681 was also repaired, but got repainted into the newer fake bonnet scheme so it can continue its service then. 7829 was deemed a total loss. It was towed away, and its spare parts are going to be used on future locomotives. 7829 is now a scrap train, while BNSF in 2013 made a 7829 as an ES44C4. So the original 7829 is still there, but it's scrapped. And 7829, the ES44C4, is still in service to this day. BNSF 7938 was also deemed a total loss and scrapped. The same thing happened to 6329. Even though 18 years have gone by, the legend of the Arminto train collision is still a vague memory for everybody, to the people from the early 2000s. But that doesn't mean we should totally forget about this crash. It's had a tragedy, and hopefully there won't be any more crashes of the same multitude as that one did. Anyways, and let's hope the people of the years in the future don't do the same thing as that person in the idle train did, leaving the switches on the siding and not the main. It is still kind of sad that only 2 out of the 5 locomotives survived. There could have been more prevented to save, but unfortunately, it's too late. The loss is proven.